What's up, guys? This is Brent with Western Equipment. Let's jump right on in and start talking about this John Deere FC15R cutter. Now, let's start with talking about the model number here. So FC is going to be for flex cutter. 15 is going to be the width of the cutter whenever it is folded out. That is going to be its cutting width. And then the R there is going to be the trim level. So a lot like all of our other John Deere equipment, such as our tractors, this R is going to be a trim level for the machine. So in these cutters, we are going to have E's, which are going to be the more base models, M's, which are kind of that mid-spec model, which I do have a video over the FC15M. So if you are going to be comparing this one with another one, that is going to be a good video to compare to, so I'll go ahead and leave that down in the description below. And I also have a complete rundown of the whole John Deere rotary cutter lineup that I'll leave down in the description below as well. But this one here is going to be an R, which means it is going to be the top of the line and have the most features of any of these rotary cutters. First couple of things to talk about whenever we are looking into one of these rotary cutters is how much horsepower does it take to run one of these, and also is it going to be too heavy for my tractor to pull. So first two things we need to knock out is that it takes at least 55 horsepower to run this rotary cutter. Now, that is at the bottom end of the scale. So you have to think that if you have a tractor that has 55 horsepower at the PTO, and that is the machine that you are putting in front of this cutter, you have to think that you are going to get the minimum output from this machine. So the more horsepower at the PTO, the better, but you do have to have a minimum of 55. Now, the other thing is weight. Whenever we are talking about pulling one of these machines, we are looking at pulling about 6,250 pounds. So you do want to make sure that you have a tractor that is heavy enough in the front, that is heavy enough overall, and has enough horsepower at the engine that it is not going to have a problem with pulling this machine. Now, if you go back and you look at the FC15M, it is significantly lighter than this machine. By about 600 to 700 pounds, it is going to be lighter. So you are going to be moving up quite a bit in weight, going from the 15M up to the 15R, so just keep that in mind whenever you're doing your shopping on these. Now, the next thing to talk about is just overall, what kind of components are we going to have on this machine, and what are we going to have to be looking for? So for one, we are going to have a driveline on this machine. You are going to be able to pick between a 540 and a 1000 on your driveline. So depending on what your tractor is equipped with, you need to make sure that you have the correct driveline with your machine. You're also going to require having 3 SCVs for this cutter, because you are going to have 3 hydraulic functions. You are going to have a raise up and down of the whole machine to either raise it up or set that machine down. Then each one of your wings is going to fold out on its own separate hydraulics. So up in the cab of your tractor, you are going to want to have at least 3 hydraulic outlets. That way you can run this machine separately. That is one of the nice features of the R, is that if you are in a situation where you only want to mow with the right hand wing, you have the option to do so, or the left hand wing. Either way, you can do these independently, whereas on the M or lower models, these wings are going to lower at the same time. Now, being as that this is called a flex cutter, the one thing about this is that it truly does have flex to it. Once you fold these wings out, they are not going to be completely rigid and flat across the terrain. Whenever you are going across that terrain, through that pasture, wherever it is that you're mowing, maybe it's those roadside ditches, whatever those are, you are going to have some flex. You are going to have up to 45-degree upward working flex and 22 degrees downward working flex on these wings. So just know that you are going to be able to cut in various conditions and also be able to have the nice maneuverability and the flexibility of this machine to move along with your terrain. Now, as far as the other components go, other than your hydraulic hoses, you're also going to have an electrical hookup where you're going to need to hook this up so the lights work on this machine. So whenever you are traveling with this machine, you do have those rear working lights. You're also, along with your driveline, going to have 4 gear cases on this machine. So right here in the middle, you are going to have your splitter gear case that is going to go from the tractor to the cutter itself here, and then split off into 3 separate gearboxes, having drive lines going to each one of them to be able to run your 3 sets of blades. So since we're talking about blades, let's go ahead and get right into it. What we are going to have under each one of these sections is going to be one of these large pans that has 2 blades connected to it. Now, these are going to be the large heavy duty blades. These are going to be 4 inches wide by about 1/2 inch thick, and they are going to create suction that is going to suck truck that material to the middle to eventually be pushed out the rear of the machine. Now, nice thing about this is that with the R, you are going to get some upgraded features. You are going to get a heavier built machine, meaning that you're going to have heavy material underneath the deck here and on the side skirts. So what you're going to have on the bottom here of your deck and on the top is going to be 7-gauge steel. Now this is an upgrade from the M, which is going to be 10-gauge steel. Then on the side skirts, you are going to be 3-gauge steel, where this is an upgrade from 6-gauge steel on the M series. So you are getting a lot heavier built machine made to be extra durable and offer you ultimate protection whenever you're going through and cutting that material. Now, the cutting material and the width of that material is also a big thing that we need to think about when we're getting into these machines, because with this FC15R, you are going to be able to cut material that has a diameter of up to 4 inches. So you have a ton of power coming from this rotary cutter to be able to cut through such things as a 4-inch piece of material. So whether that be sagebrush, small trees, whatever those are, you are going to be able to handle up to 4 inches on that. You're also going to have these safety chains that go all the way around and the option of adding double safety chains. So if that is something that you're interested in, you do have that. You're also going to have replaceable skid shoes up here on either side, on the left-hand side and right-hand side. These are going to take on the brunt of your force whenever you have this thing laid out. And if we're talking about getting up next to curbs, getting up next to fence lines, maybe digging into the dirt because we're trying to get into an area, these are going to take that force, and just know that those are removable and you can change those out. Super easy. Get those from your local parts department and then you're off and back to working. Here at the rear of the machine, we do have some options. Now, you are going to have some things that you're going to have to choose from whenever you're going out and looking for this machine. One thing is going to be the type of tires that you're going to want on this machine. You are going to have 3 different options. One is going to be a laminate. This is going to be those tires that have the pieces of rubber that are stuck together all the way around the wheel. Here's what the picture of those is going to look like. Or you are going to have these heavy duty ag tires like we have here, or you can have these that are foam filled. So you can have foam filled or pneumatic of the tires that you see here, or the laminates. So those are going to be your 3 different options. Then you're also going to have an option on your suspension. So you do have suspension at the rear at your wheels. What we have on this one is going to be a torsion axle suspension. So you are going to see that tubular frame that goes through, and then you're going to have your wheel axle assembly that comes out, and you're going to have those rubber pieces that are going in between there. This is going to be your suspension system. So what that does is that rubber is going to be a buffer between those 2 pieces of metal, allowing some suspension. Or you can also go with an airbag and spring suspension, which is going to be a little higher quality suspension but also require a little bit more maintenance. So you do have those options there for your suspension. Now, the other big question sometimes is, how does this go about hooking up to my tractor? Well, this is going to have, again, an upgraded feature on it. Whenever we are looking at the Clevis style hitch, this is actually going to have a sort of ball mechanism inside of it that is going to help you more easily line up the drawbar. So whenever you get this and you're backing up, and if it's hard to see, you don't have someone out there to help you, once you kind of get into that ball, it is able to pivot and move and get in place to help you line that pin up whenever you are going to hook this up to the machine. So that is going to be a nice feature. You're still going to have the heavy duty jack system, just like what we had on the FC15M, to help you with raising and lowering and also storing this machine. So those features are not changed. But the overall main thing that we are getting out of going to this FC15R rather than a 15M or 15E is just the overall bulkiness of it. The more heaviness of this machine, also the more power that it's going to put out, and that larger diameter of material that it's going to be able to cut. And also, whenever you are looking into one of these machines, if you are going to be that commercial customer that's going to be running this maybe as a county or a state or a city, or somebody that's going to be running one of these mowers all day long every day, this is the machine that you need to look into, just for the simple fact of that you are not going to wear down your parts as easy. You're also going to have those thicker side skirts and that thicker material on the machine, so you don't have as much wear, and you're also going to have those heavier duty gearboxes all of the way throughout the machine that are going to help you have longer lifespan with this machine. Now, whenever we get down to it, one thing that always gets asked is, what is the warranty on these machines? Most of everything that you see on this machine is going to be a wear item, except for the gearboxes. So you are going to have a 5-year warranty on your gearboxes. So make sure that whenever you're going in and buying one of these machines, you're talking to your salesman, making sure that that's documented so that you have that in place for, so if you have an issue with one of your gearboxes, you can get it into your dealership, get that fixed, and get back to work. But other than that, guys, that is pretty much it about the FC15R. I hope this video helped you out. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, we just ask you to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Also, guys, if you are looking for more videos like this or just more videos over John Deere equipment in general, I highly suggest you go check out the rest of the channel. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Hey guys, make sure to check out this cool video and this one. Buy your parts right up here and subscribe right here.